So a pre-conference in a nutshell is basically when the presenter and the facilitator meet together to prepare for the feedback session. And there's a couple of goals or outcomes that are results of a pre-conference. So the first main thing that comes out of a pre-conference is that you create a focus question together. So what is it that you want to get feedback on? And you frame it as a question. You also work together to choose a protocol that matches the desired outcome. So depending on what type of feedback you're looking for from your colleagues, you'll choose a protocol that matches those outcomes. And then you talk and discuss about making a plan to present. So that includes thinking about if you want to bring artifacts or data to share with the team. So that's what a pre-conference is, but I can talk all day about what it could look like, but we'd prefer to model it for you. So I'm going to invite Julia to be my my supporting actress here. I'm going to pin her. I'm going to pin myself, and hopefully I did that correctly. And what we'll do is we're going to model for you what a pre-conference looks like. Julia is going to be the presenter, and I'm going to be the facilitator. And before we do that, we're also going to drop a link to the pre-conferencing worksheet. So this is one part of the toolkit that you all will be practicing with today. This worksheet includes an agenda as well as room for taking notes. I'm also going to pull it up on my screen, but feel free to follow along on your own screen. And we'll be mainly going through this first chunk of the agenda where we'll be listening to Julia's needs and helping her find a focus. Okay, so Julia, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Way. So Julia, I'm gonna ask you, so we're preparing for a feedback round, just wondering what's at the top of your mind, what's something that's in your practice that you're thinking about bringing for feedback?
Jenny, we're having such a problem in our center because we can't get families to understand how important it is to support classroom behavior expectations and plans. So we have some children who have a lot of challenging behaviors. They come to school and they don't understand what it takes to be like in a classroom with other 4-year-olds and behave. And we put them on plans and we let the families know, but the families don't support it at home. So these children are living in these two different worlds going back and forth, and it's making it very challenging for everybody here.
Okay, all right. I'm hearing. I guess I want to dig a little bit deeper there. So what about it feels really challenging for you?
Well, I mean, for me as the center director, I have, teachers who are working really hard and really committed to learning in these children's learning. And they're not getting everything that they need to be able to educate the children fully and prepare the children. This is their last year in preschool. Next year they go off to kindergarten. And so it's just very hard for everybody in the center. And I don't really know where to go with this.
Yeah, and I hear that. That definitely sounds challenging on multiple parties, on the teacher in the classroom, on you as the director. I'm hearing you also bringing up the families, and I guess like if you could pinpoint like what's the worst case scenario, like what really ultimately is your main concern at the end of the day here? What's the worst that could happen?
Well, the worst that could happen is somebody gets hurt, because a child does something when they're behaving. But that's kind of really the worst case scenario. I mean, these are still little children, but I think it's making it hard for the children with the behaviors to develop relationships with their peers. And so I I think thinking about it, maybe the worst case is for the child is they get isolated, or maybe they have trouble making social relationships because they have these behavior problems.
Okay. So really the focus is on like how this is impacting the students and their development, um, and what those outcomes look like. So that's sort of what I'm hearing. Am I hearing that right?
Yes. I mean, I really, I'm hearing about it mostly in my role from the teachers when I get called in, but I do now I'm thinking about it. It must be kind of hard for the child as well to be always in this situation.
Mhm. And I guess, like, we're thinking about bringing this as part of your feedback round. You're going to have folks there to give you feedback. So what would you want to gain from that experience? What sort of feedback are you looking for?
I want to to find a way to engage families and help them understand how important it is for their children to learn kind of what the routines expected behavior is in a classroom or
Mm,
in a school setting.
mm, okay. So I'm hearing you say that, like, in terms of feedback, you really want feedback on like how you could further engage families to be a part of the solution here and to support the kiddos in learning the routines and learning how to behave. Is that sort of, am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, yes. I think that's where I'm landing right now.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. How are you feeling, I guess, about presenting that to the team?
Well, I'm a little nervous because I feel like we've tried everything and I'm kind of a little uncertain I'll go in and maybe hear a lot of what we've tried before. So that makes me a little nervous because that's not going to help.
Hmm. Okay. So maybe one way we could address that is part of what you could bring as artifacts is maybe a list of strategies that you have tried already. So that way you don't feel like people are repeating what you've already
Okay.
tried. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And scene, I'm going to pause it